Hey everybody, Greg with Leapfrog Land Care here. I want to talk to you real quick about some options for mole control. Mole with an M. Moles, they love tunneling through the ground and typically eating grubs and earthworms. And they're normally coming from a natural area, tunneling in and eating in the area. So if you have moles, it is very, very, very likely in North Carolina that you have grubs. Grubs become Japanese beetles, fly off, and then come back and lay more eggs and create more grubs. And the moles are typically going after the grubs. So, two-pronged approach to it. Number one, if you do have moles, we do highly recommend getting grub control treatments. Now, the ideal time for a grub control treatment is going to be around mid-June to mid-July in North Carolina, and to use less chemical, be more effective on the early stage of grubs. And but at the same time, moles can be active year-round, but you don't want to necessarily do grub treatments year-round. So how else do you control moles? Some folks say they've got those spikes that you can put in the ground that vibrate and stuff like that. University studies have shown that they don't really work that well. However, I was on a customer's property yesterday that had them out there, and he swears by them. So whether it works or doesn't work, I'm not sure on that for the vibration things. I know you got to be careful with them with lawnmower blades and stuff like that. So if you want to try those, you're welcome to. But another option for taking care of moles is to use these poisonous gummy worms. Now, if you've got a dog that's a digger, you may not want to use these, or a cat that likes to dig up tunnels and stuff like that, or chase moles and stuff. But if you don't have that, this is a great option. Now, the thing to remember, we're trying to chase a critter that lives underground, does not want to come into contact with sunlight, and he's created, he or she's created tunnels throughout a yard, and we're putting some of these things in, hoping that they travel that tunnel again to eat them, okay? But we have had pretty good success with these. I would say 60+% success with one treatment of poisonous gummy worms. What we do is we take, go around your property and place 3 to 4 of these into different tunnels throughout the property. And moles usually come in from a big natural area. They take the main, if you think about it, us going to work, they kind of take the same highway in and out of the natural area, which is where they live. They then go around, visit their different shops or different food sources, which is your grubs in throughout your lawn and landscape beds, and they eat up, and then they return their tunnel back to their house. So if you can find a tunnel that is active, that's coming in or out of natural areas, we got one that's going into this natural area and coming behind the photographer from the natural area behind him. So there's tunnels all through there. So what we're going to do, we've got some slightly raised up tunnels here. We're going to take this gummy worm. I'm using gloves because we don't want to get our human scent on it. Using gloves, dirty gloves too, so they already got some dirt on them. And taking this and creating a little hole in that tunnel. And then I'm just taking the gummy worm, pushing it in, kind of filtering that thing on down into that tunnel. And then remember what the moles do not like? They don't like sunlight. So we don't want to mash their tunnel all down, but we do want to cover that little hole that we just created. Now, even if you don't have dogs that like to dig and stuff like that, but you do have dogs and you're concerned about them, or you're concerned about your neighbor's cat or something like that, or other animals coming through, here's a neat little trick. You can find a bucket, you can find we had an old cotton candy bucket that I brought from home. We're gonna just take this thing, that's where we put the gummy worm, but an animal can knock that over real easy, right? They sure can, but you put a rock on it. That sucker ain't not too many are knocking that over easily. Now, big dog could do it and stuff like that, but that's something you can do. You can use a terracotta pot to do it. Now, if you've got a nice lush lawn, you got to remember that you're basically blocking, depending on what you're using, you're either blocking sunlight, or something like this with plastic, you're illuminating some sunlight through it. It could cause this little spot of grass to die out here with the heat of summer and stuff. But you can look right over here. We've got another mole tunnel. It's kind of raised up as well. We're going to do the same thing again. We're going to take some of these gummies, pop it in there. We're going to look for some others that are coming around and get them in there. And let the mole come through, eat the poisonous gummy worm. They continue on down their tunnel, and they die somewhere along the way. Okay, hope that information helps, gives you some options on mole control. Have a great day.